Hey everyone, this is Matthew James Peters of Authority Marketing Films, and for the last, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been looking at behind the scenes footage of how they create movies, giving my video here a little more of a cinematic effect, and I just wanted to break it down for you and give you guys a behind the scenes look at how I did this and how you can replicate it. So I'm going to show you right now. I am using Final Cut Pro. Now it is not a cheap program. I think it's about $300 or so. The real cost is in the time in learning it, and it took me the longest time to figure this out. It's very different than what I had been using before. So just know that if you're going to be using something like this, if you are doing your own videos, that the cost really for this is not the $300 of buying the program. It's learning how to do it and how it organizes your files and everything. So we have a few different elements here. Right here, you'll see this is my cursor right here is over this box. That is, my name and director and Authority Marketing Films there. So that's our titles there. There's a simple titles just using this T, bringing up the titles. You grab it and put it in there. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but I'm just showing you, I'm breaking down what it is I did. So as I click on this here, I can go to text and you can see where I can change that. And I can just go line by line and change those things, change the sizes and all of that. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Now this is the main video here. You'll see that this is showing up as one shot. I'm sorry, right here. These are this is the video here. But what I wanted to show you was the footage that I started with. So I have filters on it. And now watch how this changes here. Hue and saturation change. I use Indie Red. Letterbox gives it that movie effect. Oh, let's make sure we're right in here. So we're looking at what I'm changing. So let's see what the letterboxing does. Hue and saturation, changing hue and saturation. This right here, this Indie Red, I believe what it's doing is it's emulating a red camera, which is a very expensive camera. It's just giving some of the qualities of that camera and putting into the mine here. The letterbox, and then Super 8, that gives it a film effect. Now, anytime you use an effect, what I like to do is they may have it set a lot higher and then I pull it back. And a lot of times when you find what you like, just pull it back a little bit more, because after you upload it, you're going to say, oh my gosh, that's too much effect. So what I ended up doing is there are different effects here. I believe this is it here. Yeah, effects browser. So when I click on this, they have all these different effects, and I can move over it and you can see how I can change it. The biggest thing people do when they add effects is they put too much on. Like, I like this, but that'd be way too silly for my video. If I was outside and there was a sun there might be some reason for those spots, but right now it'd just be a distraction. So you can see the difference. So this right here is pretty close. I think the transform is good. So this is how it looked. I'm going to close this up. You can see it much larger here. This is how it's shot out of the camera. Okay, now look at the difference when I switch it over to putting the effects on it, the film effects. Warms up my skin. There's higher contrast. Look at my shirt and how it's changed there. It just adds depth. Now, one of the biggest things you'll see in the back is this all blurry, and then you have this, what's called a bokeh or bokeh effect. And it is the lens. I'm using a 50mm lens, 50. It's about $100, and it goes on this camera. Let me just pop over to here. So you can see how I set this up. I have my camera in front of me. Notice there's no light directly in front of me. This is actually a large window. I covered that up. I have a light box, $50, $100, something like that. Light box over here shining at me on this side, and then I have a gold reflector on the other side. Reflector, they are very inexpensive. I like to use the gold side in this case because it reflected a warmer light on my skin. So let's go back and take a look at what that looks like. All right, so here is the white light. You can see a little bit of the gold here. They're subtle. One of the things is I didn't put a light on both sides because you see, my cheekbone right here really stands out, and it'll fade a little bit once it's playing.
My mind ready to go, and I can choose.
But what it does is it draws out my jawline a little bit, and it gives a little bit more of a dramatic effect, because what happens a lot of times is we light white light on this side, white light on the other side, and it's kind of a flat lighting. So this is more theatrical, more dramatic when you have those looks there. So I could put this, what I created here, up against something people shot on, let's say 16mm film and film stock, and I could make it look exactly like it. Now, to a professional, they might find some little nuances that are different, but really, this gives that movie quality. And adding the effects, I really spent about 10 minutes on it. It's not a big deal to put effects on it. So if you have this program, Final Cut Pro, it's pretty straightforward to just add effects and then pull them back if you'd like to. This right here is my Authority Marketing Films, what they call it is a bug. And what I did is I selected this track here, and I can go in and we're going to transform it. I can grab it. I can make this really any size I want, put it anywhere I want, but this is a layered file, so it's a PNG file, a .png file, and there's no background. That's key. So if you have a JPEG image, you're going to probably have like a white or black background, and it just takes away from some of the quality to have it that way. So I can go back and change things back to the way they are. You can see as I add that's kind of a silly shot of me here, but I'm just going back through and undoing some of the things I was doing before. So it brings it back to what you're seeing in this end video. To me, it looks like $1 million. And I'm breaking it down for you here to show you that, behind the curtain, there's some little tweaks that we do. Let's go over here and I'll tell you about the camera that we use. So I use a Canon Rebel T5i. I got this at Costco, and Costco, it came with some lenses. It did not come with the 50mm lens, but again, the 50mm lens is about $100. And it's a great camera. What it has is a screen that flips out, and it also has HDMI out. So if you use like a HD, if you have an HD TV at home, you have an output you can run into a television, and that's what we did here. It's not a special monitor. This is actually a 32-inch television. And what I did is I ran a cable out of the camera into the television, and it's showing me what would be on that little screen next to my camera there. It's just projecting the same thing here. So you are having to deal with settings on the camera, and I can't go into all of it right now because there's a lot to that. But just to break this down for you, to show you this is what we did. So like I said, we had the light over here shining on this side of my face, and then we had the gold reflector on the other side. And if we go back, I had Christmas lights across here, and we have this lamp, a table lamp. And then what I have right here is actually a reading lamp shining down on this over here. No, you know what? We turned that off. We actually have another softbox, another like $60 softbox with 5 CFL or compact fluorescent lights shining on here. Very inexpensive. It's just a softbox light, and it lights up that couch to give it contrast. And so I do stand out from the background, but it's subtle. So I really like this look. I wanted to break this down for you to show you how it is that we did it. Use a Canon T5i. You can get that with assortment of lenses for under $1,000, and the editing program here has the effects built into it. The biggest thing really is time and the experimenting with it. So that's a little bit behind the scenes there. Hope you enjoy it. Hope I can pause this on a not so silly face. There we go. That's not so silly. And then the last thing I'd say is I bought some music, and the thing with music is you want to make sure it's never a distraction. So you'll see as the music builds, I pull the volume down. All right, and then I bring it up at the very end. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this here.
So go on over to authoritymarketingfilms.com/results.
So I brought it up at the end. So, this fade out would actually get a little bit louder, but it was quiet at the beginning. So I brought it up and then I started bringing it down. The thing is, you see, I brought the audio from the camera up right here. I brought it up 4 decibels, and you can see this one right here, I brought down 20 decibels. All right, so I could bring that up, and you see how this thing right here, these little mountains, that's called a waveform, and that changes with it. I want to give you a little bit of behind the scenes of how we did it, and this is how we did it. This is basically, it was me in front of the camera doing a little bit of directing. I had Fiona off to the side, and we had Wesley that was doing the producing, and both of the women did an excellent job. I really enjoyed this project. I'm going to also be releasing my behind the scenes of me on camera. I have a tremendous respect for people who are on camera because this is not an easy thing to do. So thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon.